After she gets off the stand, the person who made the 911 call, Mr. Cheeseboro, he's on the stand. He's the guy who actually stopped to like call for help when he saw Shamel Drinks sitting at the stoplight not moving, right? Because he was kind of obstructing traffic. He was in the left lane. He got shot and he never was able to move, right? He never moved again after that. His car was sitting in the left lane the whole time. So this guy, Mr. Cheeseboro, being a good Samaritan, he seen him. He thought the guy was asleep in the car. He said he seen him like leaned over a little bit. He thought he was asleep, so he called 911 and said, yo, we got a guy in here. He like slumped over, but I kind of seen, he said he looked at the window and realized it was shattered out, and he realized, oh, this car been shot up. So that's what we call the police and tell him, hey, we got a guy over here. He not really moving. He hasn't moved in a while. And there's a bunch of cars just going around him, right? So then, so that's what Cheesebro was there to do. He didn't have like any details on any shooting. He wasn't there when the shooting happened. He came later. Like people was really seeing this car sitting there shot up and was just driving around him. 23-year-old male, man, just driving around the boy. Nobody was helping him or nothing. But shout out to Mr. Cheesebro, black man riding past, just being a good Samaritan. And that area right there, if you know, like off of I-20, Windsor, it's dark as hell right there. You can't see nothing for real. So the fact that my man stopped and was like, he stopped right there and saw a car shot up and decided like, yo, let me try to help. That's the type of area that you don't even want to stop at the light. You want to just keep it pushing because it's real iffy right there. You don't want to just be posted up right there at that light down there. Right? So I see a question from Z right here. I got real questions about Cheeseburger. His name is Cheeseboro, and why we didn't see him on the video. Here's the thing about that video. That video was a very long video. I just took a clip from it. If you remember, during the when Hilton was about to play the video for Hogan, she had to go an hour into the video to even get to the point where Drinks pulled up to the light. This is an extremely long video. What Cheeseboro was trying to tell everybody is that he came way after the shooting happened. Cheeseboro came way after the shooting happened. People was driving. It's almost like somebody gets shot on the floor and people are on the sidewalk stepping over their body. That's pretty much what was happening. Cheeseboro was just the first one to say, let me stop and help this person. He said people was just driving around him. He shot up, leaning over in his car, windows busted out, all that. And they was like, oh, okay, get out the way. You know what I mean? Atlanta get real cold sometimes. But so that's the reason he wasn't on that video, because he was so far after all of that. Even like you see what happened, the cars that was around the shooting, they was doing U-turns and driving off and all type. They wasn't trying to help at all. So that's why Cheesebro wasn't on that video. It was way after. It was the 8-year anniversary of the regular podcast. And I said, what better way to celebrate the 8-year anniversary than to go ahead and give something away? I mess with everybody that has helped me out. You know what I'm saying? And I really rock with y'all on that. So this is what I plan on doing. I got a survey in the description. Fill out the survey. Of all the people that fill the survey out, do a randomizer and pick one of those people. And we're going to do custom merch. And we're working with the good people at Fire Made Designs. They're an embroidery company pretty much. So you get you a nice hoodie for the winter. You know, put on it, whatever you want to put on it. Our good people at Fire Made Designs are going to make it up for us. We're going to get it shipped out to you. But I need you to fill out the survey. Right, but he said he passed the car and came back. When he said he passed the car and came back, he's saying he was about to drive past it, but that's when he could get a better view of what he could see inside the car, and that's when he seen my man slumped over. So that's what he meant by like passed the car and came back. But he didn't like leave and come back. He like just was inching past it. He didn't leave though. So shout out to Cheesebro for stopping, man. If he didn't stop, who knows how many people would have drove past him and not helped him, right? Shout out to him for that. We definitely saw the FedEx video. I'm gonna play it. Give me some time. The reason, so you probably think about a FedEx video like a FedEx storefront. No, this is like a FedEx, like industrial FedEx. So the video is kind of far away. It's not good video. It's not good video. It's far down the street. You got Anderson black and white, so you really can't even see what's going on. So then next up, you get the SVU officer Butler on the stand. He used to be part of homicide. He was one of the officers that responded to the Drinks murder. He took pictures and everything. Well, he was the one getting camera images and gathering images from the area to figure out what was going on. Next up, we get Demetrius Johnson. Then we get Sharon Davis, crime scene tech. She came, took pictures and everything. That's when we get Thorpe to come back on the stand. I felt like it was a waste of time. We get Miss Jackson up there. Let me see. GBI weapons expert on the stand and discuss firearms. Okay. After talking about like all this stuff that had to do with the murder, right, and all this, which on Tuesday afternoon we didn't see the video yet we didn't see the video from FedEx or none of that. That didn't happen yet. We didn't see any of the video yet, but they have been talking about it because they did the 911 call. They had Cheeseboro up there. They had the cop that came. They had the crime scene tech, all of that. And then guess what they do after that? They go to the GBI weapons expert to talk about the gun that they found in Young Thug's house. They had a switch on it, right? They had the gun to come and say, yes, I tested this weapon. I even have a video of me testing this weapon. It is definitely a fully automatic firearm. That switch is switching, right? Let me see. Right, so they had them. The next up, you get Raven Williams. And now, like I said, they jumping around crazy. Now you get Raven Williams. Raven Williams was the girlfriend of Shamel Drinks when she passed away. By the way, was a cougar to him. She's 36 now. He just died 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, while he was only 23 years old. So this lady was 10 years older than him. He was a young buck with an older lady. And, make of that what you will, but he was living with her, according to her. Right. And he was from Augusta originally. She's from Augusta originally. He's been going back and forth to Augusta and Atlanta his whole life. She moved to Atlanta 16 years ago. So they had something in common, I guess, the Augusta thing, because she said she knew him in Augusta, too, which is weird because you would have been an adult while he was a kid. So you knew him as a kid, like while he was a kid. You knew him while he was a kid. And then you was dating him when he, okay. They lived in Duck, so they was talking to her pretty much about what was going on during the day of the murder. He was at her house during the day of the murder with one of his friends. So what happened is, and I'm gonna run through this. What happened is, the day that he was killed, he was at home with his girlfriend or whatever, and she was about to cook dinner, but she went to go get her daughter from gymnastics first, right? And when she was going to get her daughter so he had his friend over the house, his friend named Rder, right? We know what Rder is, right? So she about to go get her daughter. He like, yo, me and my homeboy, we about to go leave. We're going to ride off somewhere. And he was supposed to go drop Rder off and then come back. Now, for people that's not in Atlanta, Douglasville is like out west. It's a western suburb of Atlanta. It's many miles down I-20. It's not like the closest thing. It's not super far, it's still a metro suburb, but it ain't like around the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's a 30-minute drive to get to the city from Douglasville. So he was killed that night on Windsor, which is like Mechanicsville area, like the west side, like heart of the west side types, right? So he was probably 35 minutes from his crib. He was out there, right? So anyway, she said she's going to get he was supposed to go take Rder somewhere and come back. This was around, she said she had to get her daughter around 6 o'clock that day. So this would have been around like between 5 and 6 o'clock. But he never came back. You understand what I'm saying? But he was killed around 10 o'clock at night. So this is they establishing timelines when they bring her in there. They just establishing that at 4 hours before that, he was with a person that they know to be YFN associate or YFN member, which is Rder. She don't know who, the Raven Williams doesn't know who Rder is at all. But they bringing her in to say Rder is known by the police as a YFN member, right? So that's why that was important. She said his real name, Christian Johnson or something like that, right? So they wanted to establish that although people might not know what Shamel Drink's connection is, they know that he's around a bunch of YFN people, right? He's hanging with these guys. He goes into the city with Rder, and he never makes it home, right? So she's off the stand now. I feel like they really brought her in though just to get this. I feel like they wanted some emotional like response or whatever. She didn't really break down or anything like that. They wanted to put his picture up there like he was smiling and everything. Like, is this him? So, you know, she didn't break down or anything like that. She held everything together, no problem. But she's off the stand. Next up, they bring Phil Norton. Once again, they're jumping all over the place. After Williams gets off the stand, they bring Phil Norton. Phil Norton is a guy who owned the Glock that they found in Young Thug's house. He owned it before Thug had it. He didn't say he sold it to Thug, but he owned it before Thug had it. And he said there was no switch on that gun. I never seen a switch before. I've never seen a switch in person. This man sells holsters for a living. He manufactures himself holsters for guns for a living, right? He does this for a living. He buys, sells, and trades guns for a living. But he wants us to believe that he never. And actually, I'm down with him. Because why y'all got me in this courtroom talking about guns with switches on them anyway? I don't know nothing about that, never seen it. The state made the block super hot for Mr. Phil Norton, right? Buying, selling and stuff, saying, yo, I've never seen a switch in my life. You know, all I know is they illegal, right? So they talking about this murder, and then they bring Phil Norton in to say, yes, I had that gun, that Glock, before Young Thug had it, but I didn't make it automatic, right? Once again, trying to confuse the jury. This man, that gun had nothing to do with this murder, but that didn't stop them from doing what they did, right? Next up, we get a medical examiner from Fulton County. Then we get Sergeant Bates. He's the one that sold the firearm to Phil Norton. Once again, they weaving in and out of these witnesses to do this foolishness. Let me see. He sold the fire. Came back from lunch. A juror member lets the judge know, hey, I know that Young Thug is no longer part of this case. The judge is like, how do you know that? The jury member said, because my coworkers contacted me and they thought I was supposed to be back at work. And everybody been saying that to me, but I don't know but I don't know what's going on. Of course, you fake. You don't know what's going on. She said, everybody keep on telling me they think my work with jury duty is over. But because he's off the case. She's like, who you mean he? You mean Mr. Williams? She's like, yeah, a lot of people keep on saying something to me about it. So the judge is like, well, what are they saying? She's like, they're not saying anything. They just keep on saying that he's done. The judge is like, yeah, well, I talked to your boss. You sent me the screenshots and everything like that. I let your boss know that you definitely still are on jury duty. So tell him not to worry about it, right? Don't worry about it at all. So, you know, the time keeps on ticking or whatever. The jury member, you know. So let me see here. And I think this happened on Tuesday. Let me go back for a second. I think this happened Tuesday. They brought the lady in from one of these rental car, I think Enterprise, I think that's what she said, from rental car place. Shannon Stillwell had rented an Audi, a white Audi, right? They just wanted to establish that was Shannon Stillwell in the white Audi. But he wasn't hiding that because Shannon Stillwell used his government name, his government issued ID and everything. He's on camera at the place getting the car. And he had the car still when the police arrested him for the murder. He wasn't trying to hide the fact that he had a white Audi. So, I mean, but I guess they wanted to still establish that he was in that car. And that car was next to the person that got killed. So let's see where we at now. Then they bring... Hogan is back now. The fact that Hogan is involved with 2 of these murders in this trial, and it seems to me that he severely messed up the investigation by not messing it up. He just didn't investigate. He just was charging people. Hogan is, it's time for you to retire, my G. Oh, it's Alamo. I think Alamo is owned by Enterprise, though. The lady was from Enterprise. Alamo owns, I think they own Enterprise and maybe Avis. They own some other big rental car companies, I think. Don't quote me, but you could look it up. I think they own them. Anyway, let me see. So Hogan was the lead detective on the Drinks murder. So he says the passenger side of the car was riddled with bullets, but there was no shell casings found at the scene. Now, that was interesting. That was interesting how they did not find any shell. He said, yo, I don't know if the shell casings got dragged across the road by other drivers or what, but we didn't find a single shell casing out there. It was none in his car, and there was none in Stillwell's car. We didn't find them. That was interesting. So let me see where we at with it. No shell casing. So then they start going through video of the gas station that all of these people see each other. So Shannon's at the gas station. Enterprise Budget Davis, maybe. I thought Enterprise owned Alamo, but anyway, if it was Alamo, that's cool. That's cool. I thought she said she was from Enterprise. Now, the video is at the gas station. They show Quay Nichols, which was originally charged with this murder before he got it null-prossed. They have Nichols. They have Shannon. They're in the store together, right? They're in the store together. They buying whatever, it's nothing. Correct. Enterprise owns Alamo. Okay, that's what I thought. The lady said she was from Enterprise anyway. But anyway, the video shows them at the gas station. They just chilling. They dress like, they don't look like they're going anywhere formal, but they are dressed nice. You understand what I'm saying? And when they bring the, when Shannon had the pink on. So when they bring the pink out and it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night, he being fresh. He about to go somewhere fly. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think he was going anywhere to go kill somebody. Now, if you got to kill somebody on the way to where you're going, I guess you got to do what you got to do. But he was not dressed to kill anybody. It's just what I'm going to say. He was dressed looking like he wanted to go impress some ladies that might like a nice pink hoodie. You understand what I'm saying? And I got pink hoodies, so I know. You understand? So they're at the gas station now this is what happens. Shannon and Quay, they leave. They go back in their car. They're in two different cars. Shannon is in a white Audi, but he's parked. They got parking spots right next to the store, part of the gas station. And Quay goes, and his car is parked at a pump. He's in a Ford Fusion. So he's at a pump, and lo and behold, this is sick fate right here. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is just like a nightmare situation for the victim. Lo and behold, while Quay is getting in his car, a red Nissan Versa pulls up in the pump, literally the same pump module, but on the opposite side. Same pump as him. Quay sees the guy, Mr. Drinks, but Mr. Drinks does not see him. Now we got to talk. There's an age difference between these guys, right? Mr. Drinks was a little bit younger than them. So his head might not have been on the swivel as much as it might have should because of the location that he was on the west side. He was in an area. Of course he was in an area that all of these groups they frequent. You know what I mean? It was on the west side. So he didn't notice them. They noticed him, right? Quay gets in the car. I'm assuming, I don't know, but I see what's going on though. There's some conversation. Hey, whoop-de-whoop-whoop. The door behind Quay opens a couple times to look out and see, I know that ain't who I think it is. You know what I mean? And then they close the door. They open it again. Look. Ooh. This is all bad because this is a young black man. I hate to see it. These is young black men and all up in this. Victims, suspects, the whole thing. I don't like to see it, but I see what's going on, though. You understand? They peek out the back door, and I'm not playing this video. We're going to get, because the FedEx video is so much denser and heavier that So I'm going to talk through this one. He peeks out the back door. They see, all bad. Young boy too, man. 23 years old. Didn't know what he was getting himself into. No, they could have been emptying the blunt guns. Could have been, 1,000%. I'm not saying what they was doing. I'm saying what I was seeing. You understand what I'm saying? Quay is about to get in his car. The other car, y'all seen the video. Y'all know how close these two vehicles was. If you in the middle of a war, the people that you looking for, when you see them, they stand out. It's almost like, because this is the thing, when you see them, you got to make sure they don't see you, right? That's first. You got to make sure they don't see you. And you got to also make sure you in a position to see the people that you got beef with. He got in the car immediately. And immediately that back door opened. A couple times. I'm not saying what they did or what they wasn't doing. I'm just telling y'all what happened, right? Everybody involved here knows the smoke is in the air and they know who the smoke is with. That's not a secret. By the way, Judge Whitaker said today, if y'all heard, hey, I think y'all have established already with plenty of sufficiency that there was a gang war going on. Judge Whitaker said that. No, I'm not saying that they didn't have to communicate and say nothing. But you know, let me get to it, right? So my young man, Mr. Drinks, you know what I'm saying, R.I.P. He don't see what's going on. He don't see nothing. He gets out his vehicle, walking right past the opponents. He goes into the store. He goes in the store, buys some stuff, you know what I mean? Like, he goes into the store, buys some stuff, and he comes back out. Get in his car. He do whatever he was doing, and then he drives off. When he drive off, once he drives off, the Audi comes out. Once the Audi comes out, the Ford comes out. So they leave, and then shortly after is when Mr. Drinks is deceased, right? And I know people I see the comments right now, y'all. They're saying there's a third car. There is a third car, but eventually at the place where the shooting happened, there's a third car that was close by, very close. He was like right there when it happened. Here's the thing. Let me pull this video up. Give me a second. Give me a second.
So 1 hour.
Okay, we're gonna watch this video. I have a screen recording that's 2.5 minutes. So yeah, we could watch all this. Give me a second, y'all. We're gonna watch all that. I saw Drake's car move. I'm not disputing that. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Cause we gotta and honestly, I'm gonna stop short of saying what it really is, but let me I'm just gonna say though, we are dealing with a sophisticated group of individuals. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We not dealing with no rooks. This is what I will say. I'm not doing conspiracies. We're not dealing with no rookies, though. This is what I'm going to tell y'all. We are not dealing with rookies. We're not dealing with no rookies. Now, this is, I seen somebody earlier say that they didn't see the FedEx video. This is the FedEx video. This is like and you see that gate in the front of the FedEx, can y'all see my mouse? No, y'all can't see my mouse. All right, there's a gate in the front. That's a sliding gate. That tells you that this is not like a FedEx storefront where you go in to ship your packages. This is a FedEx facility that holds shipments. No, I didn't say they would be. Oh, no. Yeah, I said they would be convicted with this evidence if this was a separate murder trial. And I'm not saying they would be convicted because they're guilty. I'm saying they would be convicted because this looks bad. Okay, yeah, y'all don't need to see me. Good call, Jankowski. Good call. This looks bad it looks bad. It don't look good if you're trying to fight. If you're trying to argue like you didn't do this, most juries ain't trying to hear that. It's like, yo, we all drove up to the light. You drove off, I didn't. Like, stop it. That's how they would handle it normally. I'm just letting you know. All right, so let's see where we at with it. Because I'm gonna put my headphones on because I'm taking a clip from when Hilton was showing it to Hogan. There's also a part where Sharp is showing it to Hogan. And this dude is lost. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's lost in the sauce, man. Hogan is lost in the sauce. Let's see here.
44 seconds.
So y'all see, there's a bunch of just traffic. Man. It's just normal traffic. It's super dark out there. Okay, this is them pulling up right here. That's drinks that stopped first. This is
The car
SB
that
right-
just pulled up to the light now is stopped. That's the red vehicle.
This car right here?
Yes. The Audi, the first car to follow the red car out is the Audi, the white Audi. It's right next to it.
That right here?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the Ford Fusion is right to the right of that.
That right here?
That's correct.
Okay. What we are seeing here is this is honestly, this is nothing but an experience play. People that are more experienced in doing this type of business is just an experience play, man. That's just all of what these boys call the flea flicker. That's how I'm gonna word it like that. They call it a flea flicker. I seen somebody saying that though the reason that they dropped the charges against Mr. Nichols is because Nichols' car was on the far right, and there's no way that he could have did the shooting while Shannon's car was right next to it. Shannon's car pulled off like 9 seconds before Mr. Nichols' car pulled off. The QB, the QB in this situation, and listen, they fighting the case. I'm not gonna say who the QB is. I'm just gonna tell you, this is a maneuver. All right, I'm gonna tell you. I was in Afghanistan as a driver, right, combat driver. This is a maneuver right here. What they did is a maneuver. Look, watch this. Remember, they got tinted windows. The windows is super dark. They cannot see. The young boy cannot see who's in these cars.
Now, is there traffic going?
The young boy can't see who's in these
Where the
cars.
cars are stopped right now?
Yes, there's traffic now.
Look,
trying
they
to
playing
go
with the
on
lights.
to
They signaling
I-20
to each other, all type of stuff. Look,
eastbound.
they
And
scoot
so
up.
the car where Mr. Drinks and the two white cars are a red light.
That's correct.
Pull
It's
off.
red light
1,
now. And
2,
the
3,
Audi
4,
takes off through
5,
traffic
6.
through the red light, as well as the white car,
Shannon
the
been
Fusion.
gone. Shannon been gone. Shannon didn't do that shooting. You crazy? Shannon's car been gone. First of all, when Shannon's car pulled off, Drinks thought, oh, there must be a green light. He sees a car moving. He thought it must be a green light. That's why you see that car moving forward a little bit. Drinks' car starts to move forward because he's about to drive off. Then he realized, oh, this person is running a red light. When he runs the red light, that's when the score is happening. The Audi didn't do it. It wasn't Audi. They pulled off and left the lane wide open. They pulled off, left the lane wide open, and it's a cold maneuver. I don't know how else to call it, but I just know that. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can zoom in enough to show that car started moving when Shannon started moving. Let's see if I could get a good enough zoom. Oh no, that ain't. Oh, damn. I'm over here breaking down, y'all. Hold up. Let me see if I can get a good enough zoom on this pup to show y'all what I'm saying. This is a flea flicker they called. A flea flicker was. This video is terrible, and I'm stopping short of. I think because it's just like I just want everybody to get off. I just think everybody's just innocent, and I'm not saying that they did. I'm not saying that the person on trial right now did this murder. I'm saying that if you look at this video, it clearly shows what happened. I think it's just like, yo, there's another car. Like, yo, there's another suspect somewhere that we don't know about. Like, we can clearly see what happened here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, once again here, the state being so thirsty. The state being so thirsty to get the person that they want, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what they're looking at. It's a flea flicker.
Is there traffic going in the opposite direction where the cars are stopped?
They're just
Yes, there's traffic now trying to go onto I-20 eastbound.
And so
They just sitting there. My man puts himself. I'm gone. I'm in traffic.
That's correct. It's red light now. And the Audi takes off through
and then
traffic.
I take off.
Through the red
Easy.
light, as well as the white car, the Fusion.
Are you crazy?
So the Audi Fusion go through the
And
red
then
light.
this car, people say, look, this is the
well,
thing.
the
People
Audi
think
did.
that
Yes, ma'am.
when this person hit the
And was
U-turn,
there still oncoming traffic coming?
people think that when that car right there hit the U-turn, they saw something immediately right then. That's why they keep talking about that third car. That's not what happened. That third car is in shock. That's a pause in shock. They're in shock right there. That's why they paused right there. They got too close. The play happened in front of them, and they are in shock. That's why they that close with what's going on. The U-turn was like, whoa, what was that? What did I just hear? I'm going to bust a U-turn. And they just kept driving forward. You understand? But if we go back, when Shannon pulled off, Drinks drove up a little bit. I don't know if we could show that, but it happened. Drinks moved a little bit. Right? Because he thinking, oh, it's time for me to go, but it wasn't. No. That third car is not. Cheeseboro comes way later. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Cheeseboro is not in this at all. He comes way later. They done left. All these other cars left Mr. Drinks for dead. They didn't try to help him at all. Cheeseboro is way after this. All right, I want y'all to watch when Shannon's car pulls off and Drinks' car is still moving. And we're gonna talk about why Drinks' car still moving is important. Listen.
That's correct.
Now, is there traffic going in the opposite direction where the cars are stopped right now?
Yes, there's traffic now trying to go onto I-20 eastbound.
And so the car where Mr. Drinks and the two white cars are red
Shannon
light.
pulls
That's
off.
correct. It's red light now.
Drinks
And
moves
the
up a little bit.
Audi takes off.
Can y'all see that?
It's red light now. And
Drinks moves
the
up a little bit.
Audi.
Where Mr. Drinks and the two white cars are red light.
That's correct. It's
Shannon
red light
gone.
now. And
Drinks start
the
driving a tiny bit.
Audi takes off through traffic.
Now, when I say driving a tiny bit, what he pretty much did was let his foot up off the brake a little bit and inch forward. That's what he did. Now, the reason that that's important, the reason that that's extremely important to note is because it wasn't. No, I'm not saying that they are military. I'm saying that the people running the play know how to run plays is what I'm trying to say. The reason that it's important to talk about the fact that Mr. Drink's car moved forward a little bit, when one of those medical examiners was on the stand, I can't remember which one it was, when one of those medical examiners was on the stand, Max Shart established, right, that the location that Mr. Drinks got hit, right? The location that he got hit in, the place where it entered the bottom of his skull, the first thing that it would have hit in his brain, like the part of the brain stem that it would have hit, it would have shut down his motor functions instantly. He wouldn't have been able to move anymore. His foot would have got stuck on the brake. He would not have moved at all anymore from that point forward, even though he didn't pass away immediately. The bullet entered, and this is very morbid because this young man really lost his life. And this is unfortunate, extremely unfortunate. And we talking about trial theories and stuff like that. It's not cool because, like I said, this person really lost his life. But this is what I'm looking at right here, and this is what Sharp was trying to talk about. He got hit in a part of his brain that cut off his ability to move immediately when the bullet entered him. It hit that part of the base of his brain that controls motor function, and then it ended up in the left part of his the left hemisphere of his brain, right? That means that he could not have inched forward anymore from that point forward, right? So we know when he was moving, when his car was moving, we know that he wasn't shot yet, right? Now, some people are like, yo, how could he have been shot in the back of the head or whatever if the cars was on the side of him? If you're driving like this, right? And let's say something hits your car, or it's a bullet or whatever, right? Your car glass is shattered or whatever like that. One of the first things that most people will do is take cover, and the first thing they're gonna do when they take cover is this: turn. So he would have been driving, or he would have been, sitting there waiting for the light to turn green. The shots come, boom. He might have turned away from the shot, which leaves his back open. Leaves his back open. When I say his back, I mean the back of his head. Now the back of his head is facing the people that would be shooting at him from the passenger side, right? Now, when somebody's like, yo, Nichols' car is inching forward, it is inching forward. So that would mean it's hard to show angles like from sitting where I'm sitting. So if I turn this way and you that way, that would be how you hit me in the back of the head, and it goes up left towards my left eye, but up in my brain. It's hard to really explain it because I don't have the diagrams and stuff that they use. And again, this is me looking at what I'm seeing in this video, plus what the medical examiner said, plus the people that did the autopsy, all this type of stuff. This is just what it looks like to me. This is what it looks like to me, right? Again, the reason there's no shell casings in Shannon's car, the reason that there is no gunpowder residue, no GSR in Shannon's car, is because the shooting happened after Shannon took off. Cold play. The shooting happened after Shannon drove away. It was a maneuver. It was cold play. The state has the wrong person in trial right now. However, now the reason why I was talking about, I really spilled water. The reason I was talking about if this case was by itself, this is the thing about it. First of all, if this case wasn't a part of, if this case wasn't part of this RICO case, and let's just say Mr. Nichols, it was another one that they said was, did they say Myron? I don't want to put the wrong person in it, but it was three of them that they were saying. Let's just say those people was just fighting this murder case by itself, and they was just at the gas station with them, and then they drove off behind them, and then they pulled up to a light next to him, and then they drove off, and he stayed there and died. No jury would say, oh, Miles Farley, my bad. I said Myron. Yeah, Miles. Miles was with them, and Lil D was with Shannon, right? And Miles was with Nichols, right? I think Miles Farley is charged with this murder, but he just severed from this case, I think. But anyway, if they were fighting this case by itself, no jury would watch video of y'all just coincidentally leaving a gas station, coincidentally ending up at the same stoplight. Y'all drive away, that person does not drive away, and they're dead. No jury in the world would not take that circumstantial evidence and say that y'all did it. Even without a gun, even without no shell casings, even without no fingerprints, even without no GSR, they would say there's no way that y'all didn't do it. But when you package it up in a trial like this and you piss the jury off and you make them sit for 12 months about a bunch of dumb crimes that don't mean nothing, then when you get to a big crime that means everything, they are still pissed off. They still don't want to deal with it. They still don't want to deal with you. They are mad. You probably won't get your conviction. They'll probably be a lot more critical than a jury who's only there for 1 or 2 days would be. Like us, we sitting here watching this video, right? And we see that Shannon Stillwell is on trial. And if I was a person on a jury and I've been sitting here for 12 months, I'm probably looking at every single tiny detail of everything that I see. That's me. I would look at this video and say, y'all look like y'all charging the wrong people to me. Or the wrong person, at least. Because when they arrested Shannon Stillwell, he was still in the car that they trying to say he did the killing out of. He was still in the car. They seized the vehicle, took it to the impound, took it as evidence. They stripped the headliner out of the car and didn't find any GSR in the car. If he was shooting out of that car, there would be gunpowder residue all on that driver's side. It would be all over the place in that car. Right? They never told us what they did with, first of all, they never told us if they tried to find that third car that pulled up. That's first. They also never told us what type of search and seizure they did of that Ford Fusion. Did anybody else hear that? Did they ever tell anybody else, did y'all hear them say anything about stripping the Ford Fusion down and checking it for GSR and checking it for shell cases and all that? I saw somebody ask me a little bit ago, what do I think happened to the shell casings? I think the shell casings were in the vehicle that the shooting happened in. It just wasn't Shannon's car. That's what I think. I think the shell casings left in a different vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the state, once again, royally effed up. That's just what I think.